Moving on to the standout performances for the week, and I want to start with Victor Osimhen, of course. Victor James Osimhen did it yet again. You know, this time last week he had not won 2 titles. Now he has 2 titles, the Turkish League title as well as the Turkish Cup. He scored 3 goals and won 2 trophies over the past week. On Wednesday, he scored a brace in a 3-0 win over Trabzonspor to win the Turkish Cup. He also broke the record for the most goals scored by a foreign player for Galatasaray with 35 at that point. He then scored the opening goal for them on Sunday yesterday as they clinched the title in a 3-0 win over Kayserispor with the brilliant header from a corner kick, just typical Osimhen style. What I ever loved as well is there was a lovely touch of his daughter being the one to announce his goal being scored, so you could hear her voice in there, which was a lovely touch. He's now scored 41 goals this season for club and country. He's the top goal scorer in the league with 25 goals. He even gave the pen to Fernando Muslera to score the 3rd goal in the game, because Muslera has been Galatasaray's goalkeeper for 14 years and has won 19 trophies. I think he may be the most successful player in their history, but please don't quote me on that one. Remember, he did not even start this season with Galatasaray. He did not play a single game until after the first international break in September, and yet look at how many goals he scored. Galatasaray are doing all they can to convince him to stay. We even saw a Tifo beckoning him to stay and mascots writing him letters to stay. We know he absolutely loves the fans, and this is a special footballer because he was absolutely adored by the Napoli fans as well. But honestly, I think for his career purpose, he needs to just he needs to do what he needs to do and just make a move, you know, to the big leagues. Also, Bruno Yemachi also won his 2nd trophy of the season. The man's story has seriously changed over the 5 months, and honestly, I love to see it because I was one of the people that wanted him to leave Boavista. Now, Olympiacos beat OFC Crete 2-0 on Saturday in the Greek Cup final. It's their 2nd trophy this season after winning the league a couple of weeks ago. He left Boavista, as you know, and Boavista actually finished bottom of the Portuguese league and got relegated over the weekend. So congratulations to Bruno, and we're wishing him even more success to come next season. Cyriel Dessers also has to be called out. He scored 3 goals over the week, 2 against Dundee on Wednesday and 1 against Hibernian on Saturday. He finished the season as the top scorer in the Scottish Premiership, which is amazing, and also scored 6 goals in his final 5 games of the season. He has now scored 51 goals for Rangers in his 2 seasons there. Also, I wanted to shout out Wilfred Ndidi, who got an assist for Leicester City in their 2-0 win over Ipswich Town over the weekend. It could potentially be his last game at the King Power Stadium, and obviously we have to shout out Jamie Vardy, who scored his 200th goal for Leicester City in his 500th appearance, which was just fantastic to see. Also, Christantus Uche scored in his 2nd game back after a 3-game ban. It was Getafe's 2nd goal of the game to put them 2-0 up against Real Mallorca, and they won the game 2-1. The goal was also so fantastic because I'll just say it was almost like Declan Rice's goal yesterday for Arsenal. You know, the ball just came to him and just whipped it into the top corner. So even higher trajectory than Declan Rice's goal, but honestly, I encourage you to go watch the goal. I'm really good to see Christantus Uche back playing games for Getafe, and we should hopefully see him in the squad for the Unity Cup, which will take place in just over a week. Also, Moses Simon scored a goal and got an assist for Nantes over the weekend in what could also be his final game for Nantes. It was his 200th Ligue 1 appearance for the team, and it meant that he ended the season with 8 goals and 10 assists, which is no mean feat when you consider the level of team Nantes are. The goal he scored was a penalty, but the assist was also incredible. Dribbled like 3-man and just squared it for the striker to put the ball into the net. So he's also the first Nigerian to get 10 assists in the league season in the top 5 leagues in Europe. So fantastic achievement, and he ended the season just 1 assist below Ryan Cherky and Guy Tomperin. So honestly, he's trying for Nantes, man. The 200 appearances in the league. I'd love to see what happens to him in the summer. Also, I want to shout out Chubak, who scored the winning goal for Lille in their 2-1 win over Reims. It was an 86-minute penalty after he came on to replace Jonathan David, who was leaving Lille in the summer. And it was nice to see him keep his cool and win the 3 points for Lille. He's also one to watch in the summer because he's currently on loan from Ajax. So let's see what happens for him. Also, in really good news, I wanted to shout out Terem Moffi. Terem Moffi scored for the first time since getting injured at the end of last season. You remember he did his ACL, and it was his first goal in 389 days for Nice. Also, his goal in their 6-0 win over Brest meant that Nice have now qualified for the Champions League qualifiers by virtue of finishing 4th in League 1. It was really lovely to see the way his teammates mobbed him as well, and you could just see that he's a player who's really loved by his teammates, and hopefully his injury issues this will be the end of his injury issues, and he can put them behind him and move forward next season, because we know that there's a quality striker in there. Also, I want to shout out to Laura Kodari, who scored his 21st league goal of the season in a 4-1 win over Ghent. He's now back on the top goal scoring charts in Belgium, although he's joined top with Adriano Bertaccini. One more game to go for him to seal the award after winning the Ebony Shoe Award last week, as we mentioned. A good season overall for him, considering he also made the Super Eagles debut this season. He's still 24, so let's see what happens over the summer window, and there's a lot more to come from him. Also, his teammate Yirasor scored the second goal of the game. I mean, that 4-1 win for Genk. He had not scored since September, when he got a goal and 2 assists against Cercle Bruges. He had been injured from December to March as well. So just great to see him back on the score sheet and actually starting this game.